What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here today, and today we're bringing you our East Carolina preview prediction video. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Help me reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Also, make sure you check out the description for links to our podcast website, Patreon page, College Football Roundup channel, and how to join as a member of our channel. So make sure you guys check out all of that stuff. If you join as a member, you can get exclusive perks and all kinds of stuff. So make sure you check that out. But let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So East Carolina comes off a 8-5 year last year, went 4-4 in the American. They've been pretty consistent under head coach Mike Houston. But they do lose a lot. They lose Holt Nailors, the big quarterback for them. They lose C.J. Johnson, the big receiver. They lose the big running back for them. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name now. I can't think of his name, but they do return the guy who was supposed to be going in as the starter last season, in Raji Harris, who tore his ACL after like 5 games. So he'll be back. They also lose their best corner, and Malik Fleming. He transferred to Houston, I think. I'm pretty sure that's where he went. But the defense does return a lot. 6 starters. They bring the entire defensive line back and both their safeties. So that is good. It'll be interesting to see how East Carolina does this year. They've been, very consistent under Mike Houston. So let's go ahead and jump into the schedule. Well, before that, let me share something too. I think, East Carolina under Mike Houston with Holt Nailors, they were an air attack. But now I think they're going to be more of a power ground game that fits the new quarterback Mason Garcia's style a lot better. We mentioned Raji Harris being back. They have a very good offensive line, very experienced offensive line. So I think that is how East Carolina is going to go. But week 1, they go on the road to Michigan. This is a loss. Don't really need much talk about this. They're not going to go and beat the number 2 team in the country on the road week 1. They may play a little bit close for a little while, but Indy and Michigan's going to just pull away with the game, and they're going to win pretty handily. But then they get Marshall at home. I think this game is a win. I think East Carolina is a better team than Marshall is. I think that with this game being at home, also that helps. I think they're going to be able to dominate Marshall on both lines of scrimmage and just run the ball down their throat. So I think East Carolina gets the win here. Then they go on the road to App State. This is a loss. I think App State is just a better team. They're playing in a tough environment in Boone, North Carolina. So I just think App State is a better team. But then they get Gardner-Webb at home. This is a win. I don't really think this game needs much discussion. I think East Carolina is pretty obviously better than Gardner-Webb is. I don't really think that is in any doubt to anybody. So we'll see with the game, but I do think East Carolina will get a good win here. Then they go on the road to Rice. I think, again, this is another win. Rice is a solid team, but not really. I mean, they're probably going to go 6-6, 5-7, something like that. But, East Carolina is just a better football team than Rice is. Going on the road to Rice, that doesn't matter. East Carolina is a better football team, and they'll get the win here. Then they get a bye week. Then they get SMU at home. This is a game I have them winning. I think it's going to be a close game. I think both these teams are pretty even. But with it being at home, I'm giving the game to East Carolina. I think they'll get the win. I think SMU is a good team that very well has a shot at winning this game, and they very well might. But I was torn on who to go with, so I went with East Carolina because it's a home game for them. Then they get Charlotte. I have this game as a win for East Carolina. Charlotte may be one of the worst. They are one of the worst FBS teams. Maybe one of the worst FBS teams. So I think East Carolina gets the win here, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Then they go on the road to UTSA. I think this is a loss. UTSA, the new the new guy on the block in the AAC, but very well may win the conference this year. UTSA brings back Frank Harris. You know, that's a very good quarterback for them. They do lose Zakari Franklin, transferred to Ole Miss, one of the best receivers in the country. But UTSA still has plenty of talent to come in and do well in the American, and I think that they will beat East Carolina in this game. Then ECU gets Tulane at home again. I think this is a loss. Tulane is just better. You know, I just think that I just think that Tulane still has a lot of talent, regardless of what they lose. They're still better coached, and so yeah, I think that that Tulane is going to beat East Carolina, and you know, I don't really think there's a whole lot to discuss with this. East Carolina not going to be a top 25 team. Tulane will be a top 25 team. Then they go on the road to FAU. This is a win. Florida Atlantic, not a very good team. It is on the road, but I don't really think that matters, especially when you talk about a lot of these smaller schools, not really a home field advantage. So I think East Carolina gets the win here. They're just flat out better. Then they go on the road to Navy. I think they win the game, but I could very well see them losing it. They lost to Navy last year, 23-20. They beat them the year before in overtime. They've had, a lot of close games with Navy under Mike Houston. I think they get the win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Navy pulls off the upset and beats them. Then they get Tulsa to close out the season. This is a win. Tulsa had that good year a few years ago with Zaven Collins and all that group, and were pretty good. But since then, they haven't really been good. They're probably going to finish, in the bottom half of the American. Not going to have a very good season, and so. I think East Carolina is just a better football team than Tulsa is, and I don't think many people would argue. So I have them going 8-4 overall. I have them going 6-2 in the American. So I think it's going to be. I still think it's going to be another good season with Mike Houston, despite all the stuff they're having to replace. But I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you'll help like and subscribe and reach my goal of 1,000 subs. Comment your thoughts on today's video down below, and we will see you guys next time.